Well, I thought I'd release this video, but obviously I hadn't due to I didn't think it was good enough. But it has a relation to the next video coming up. I'm going to stick it out now, just so you know the history of what's going to happen. Right, we've just seen this power supply doing its best of clicking and clacking and not turning on. So we need to have a look inside. And one screw. These screws in the back. Yep. When I get it fixed, I'm going to have a go at talking to it via the RS-232 and see if we can't integrate it into some form of test set. Seems to be caught down here. Oh, there it goes. Do we need some light on? Is that too much light? Right, what can we see? Oh, I can see some obvious bits if I zoom in. You might just make it out. That capacitor has bulged. There's one over here that is showing a bulge. That one looks all right. They look all right. So currently I would go, that one's definitely bulged. One over there is bulged. So 470 microfarads, 25 volts. Now, of my collection of capacitors that have arrived, what have we got? 470 microfarads, 25 volts. So that I can replace. And the ones that are down here are 470, 25 volts. May have problems with those ones because these capacitors are fatter. These are definitely fatter. If I get one out, compare them, they are definitely a lot fatter, but they are 470 microfarads, 25 volt. So they might have to be bent over a little bit. What are these other ones? 220 at 25 volts, and these little ones are 47 at 50, so there must be some of them in here as well. Because all these capacitors were bought with the intention of getting this back on the road. So how do we get this out? Quite a few connectors to pull off. Can I pull them off with pliers? Don't try my hands. Ooh. I don't really like pulling on the wires. Oh, that one's out. It's only got one in. Can I get the pliers? Yep. So that's them off. That one's got a latch on it, so that's okay. That one's pulled off. That's got a latch on it, so that's okay. That's soldered in. There, may have to unsolder that one. That screw's not exactly doing its job, is it? It's loose. That one's tight. Any more screws apart from up this end? Oh, that one's loose. So much for the glue. That one's tight. So, a bit wary of this at the moment because I did just power it up to show it clicking and clacking. So I think I'm going to come back to this, and I've given it a bit longer to die down. Actually, I might just get some of these off while I'm waiting. That one off. Oh, that one off. These are squeeze and lift. I did like these ones too much. Maybe I should have left the wire on. I turn that one around to make it easier. Yep. Right. That's one board out. Unsolder that one. That one there. You've unsoldered that. Just put it out far enough. Use my trusty old green RS solder sucker. There you go. Oh, there's another one. Just put that one going in there. Could that be going to that? You can see that wire there. There's the neutral wire is going in. Now they look like capacitors, so it's possibly going to that wire there. We'll desolder it and see what happens. My little line's a bit small for this. Yep, that was the one. I would have put a little mark. Oh, here's a pen. I think I might just go L. That one, wasn't it? N. Oh, a bodge. I can see a bodge coming out. Ah, free at last. One carcass. There's a capacitor down. If you can see it down hidden in there. That looks all right. Put the carcass out of the way. Oh, that's unusual. A standoff that doesn't seem to go anywhere. Oh, that's because that hole should have a standoff, but it's missing. So that obviously went to it. So it looks like I may not be the first person to be in here. This may have given trouble before. No idea why. But looking at all the other capacitors down there, they seem to be okay. But we definitely have two of the same type in there. So they're going to have to come out. And to me, it looks like they're the leads. Might need some solder. Oh, now I've forgotten where I'm looking. Right down there. Refresh the solder with some nice leaded solder. As far as I'm concerned, it's cleaner than adding flux. It's dropping out. There's the capacitor with its definite bulging lid. And we'll take out its companion just to be on the safe side. going to have to find a better light source. Those lights from IKEA, the camera has problems with them. It makes everything go yellowy red. Oh, there it goes. That one's fallen out as well. So unfortunately, these are tall and thin. And the ones I got, hopefully, they should go in. Well, they've gone in. So they're the main ones. And then we'll look at this one. Right, back. What I'm going to do now, I think, is I'm going to put that one in the middle, push down nicely. There's plenty of room, as you can see, in the box above it. Solder that on. Wait for my iron to warm up a bit. There it goes. Let's take 20 seconds or so for the iron to warm up. And then the others I'm going to lay flat because they don't quite fit next to the bodywork. But they lay flat quite happily. So that's where they're going to go. Notice none of this blue tack lock. Use what your fingers are for. Right. Just reflow the solder where I've cut them. Take any shock out of the joint that the cutter's imposed on the wire while cutting it. Get it clean with some IPA. Let's move that. Move that lot out of the way. Off the end of the bench. And into the bin. Right, so bring the chassis back. Oops, I'll zoom that way out. I'll get used to knowing which way around it is to zoom. Just in case anyone wants to play along at home and look at the components on there. There's the chips. So I haven't had the other capacitors arrive yet, so I did order all the capacitors for it, but what I'll do is put it back, power it up, and see if the clicking fault has gone away. So hopefully the people who made this made it so that all the cables only fit in one place, so I haven't got to worry about where they go. That's in. Right. Any more cables under there? Oh, one hiding down there. Where's it gone? Oh no, it's a pot. I thought it was another thing. Better bring this one in. This one goes in under here. There's a big choke here. It's well suppressed, this power supply. I thought it was a transformer, but it's a choke. It's only got 2 wires. So bring that in there, but this has got to overhang a bit, because as you remember, I've got to put the brown wire in there and the blue wire in there. So I'm going to work out how to do this. Might have to turn it upside down. Obviously that's where the solder is. Work out how to get the blue wire in. Oh, this is going to be a bit finicky because you can't see where it goes. And that's going right off the picture. Might have to turn another light on so I can see something. And it has to go so that sits over there. These wires are only just long enough, so that's got to go past that. Maybe undoing that was a mistake. I was trying to see the hole. It's near impossible. Can't really easily view it. It's right down that hole between those two capacitors. So that was a mistake to take that one out. I should have taken all this off and possibly done it that way, because I don't know how I'm going to get the thing back in. As possible. How am I going to do this? Might have to. Well, I do apologise for that. I had to do it off camera as it was just too fiddly. It's in, so just got to solder the live wire on now. That's done. Come on, focus. It's not going to focus. So. I know you can't see it, it's out of focus. But it's just too heavy to hold around and muck about with the camera. So zoom back out. Alright, screwsies. For the screwsies. Two, three, four. I think it. Ready? That one there. That one there. That one there. That one there. In there. In there. Fine. That's on. That's on. That's on. That's on. Little in. Little one. Anything I've missed? Any connectors with no wires in? Can't see any. So, is it the moment of truth? He says mains cable that it's plugged into isn't long enough. Need to find another mains cable. Right, found mains cable. Will it go bang? Hit the button. Yay! He says. We have life. But it's working. So, job's a good one. And when the rest of the capacitors come in, I'll do it all again and recap all the others. But at least it's a thumbs up, and my power supply is back to working. Well, if you enjoyed me making a pig's ear, fixing that, you can stay tuned for the putting on of the cover, which isn't very exciting. It's only 6 screws. This was an eBay con when I bought this, as I basically put my limit in and the people selling it had someone bid it up to my maximum, and once they'd hit my maximum they then withdrew their bids until they were less than me. So basically they forced me to buy it at what I considered to be the highest I would pay for it, which was still a relatively good deal. But I was sorely tempted to put a complaint in to to eBay for the bidder that was obviously bidding on their behalf to push the price up. So, one GW Instek programmable power supply, 40 volt, 5 amps, and it's very good because you can set voltage limits, power limits, current limits. You can go up and down in fine steps or normal steps, and it's a really good power supply. The only problem is you can't find much information about the circuitry in it. Anyway, it's now back to working again, and so I've got one spare capacitor, and those are spare. They must go in it somewhere. But when the rest of the components arrive, these have been arriving in dribs and drabs for weeks. I've still got some that aren't due till September. It's crazy. But there you go. Thumbs up if you like it. Click subscribe, click the bell, and I'll catch you on the next one. Well, I just thought out of interest I would run the capacitors past 28 picofarads. So that's one of them. $705 microfarads, 1.1 ESR. So that's a bit weird. So I'll put that one there, and then we'll look at the remaining three. 466 with an ESR of 1 ohm, and of course they are 470s. 499 microfarads, ESR of 26, so that's another iffy one. 487 ESR of 1.8. So turn it over. That's got a good end on it. That one has got a good end on it. These two have both bulged, and this one hasn't bulged, but was probably in the process of bulging. So 2 capacitors that might have lingered on, and 3 capacitors out of the 5 that wouldn't. So I'll set it back on again. What is a new one? One of the new ones I've put in. What does that measure out at? Just for an example. .506 microfarads, 0.7 of an ohm. So close, not bad, close to an ohm. So those two are probably reasonably okay, but they're going to bin. Well, they're all going to go in the bin. Just a quick example of duff capacitors. Catch you on the next one.